Perhaps the biggest trope out there in dog training is this idea that if you correct a dog, it's a failure in your training. And if you watch these two dogs together, whenever the male trespasses on whatever line that she has drawn in terms of their interaction, because make no mistake, even though he looks like he's being pushy, it's all a play-based behavior. She's the one who determines how much he's able to get away with. You saw there, she had no problem putting her teeth on this dog to correct this young male and let him know, hey, don't cross that line. We'll play together, but don't push it too far. There's this enormous nonsensical idea in dog training that when you correct a dog, you've somehow failed. The issue isn't that you corrected your dog. It's that your dog didn't understand the correction. Now there, it was very clear for him why she chose to correct him. He pushed it a little bit too far in his play with her, and she said, hey, that's enough. You're not going to do that. And she put her teeth on him. You see this all the time. You know, the positive only people always kind of trip me out. Just in that idea that you're going to train a dog to function in the real world in a reliable manner. This is just dogs being dogs here. But if you think about dog training, we're asking for a lot of unnatural things. Like, it's not natural for a dog to walk next to you and just stay next to you. And this idea that the positive only trainer spread that you're going to achieve all of this without correcting the dog, because dogs, when they communicate with one another, they correct each other all the time through their body posture, you know, their verbal interactions with each other, and then through their physical interactions. Dogs have no problem physically correcting one another because that is the language of dog. What I always say with positive only training, what you can achieve with positive only training is knowing. You can teach the dog what you want. You're not going to be able to make the dog do what you want, and you're not going to make it reliable. Very recently, some young lady online was telling me that her positive only trained dog is very reliable in public. So she had this Rottweiler, and it was basically focus heeling next to her in the mall, dragging a leash. And this was her evidence that the dog was reliable with the positive only training. Now, if you know anything about focus heeling, the dog basically walks next to you with its head up. Here's a little video of it so you guys can get an idea what I'm talking about. It's not natural for a dog to walk next to you, staring at you fixedly. The reason why the dog does this is because the dog believes that there is a ball or food reward that he or she is going to obtain. It's not going to work in the real world under any kind of long-term solution. You're not going to walk your dog in the neighborhood like that. Your dog's not going to walk next to you staring fixedly at you. If you're on a hike like you see with the dogs that I'm going to show here, your dogs aren't going to walk next to you staring at you for 30 minutes. You need your dogs to just understand that when you give them this strange sound that is the command heel, that they must walk next to you and just stay next to you. They don't have to stare at you fixedly. They just must stay next to you. And you're not going to achieve this with positive only training. And the reason why is because now I'm saying, hey, I don't have a ball. I don't have food. And when you do stay next to me for a while, I might give you something, I might not. But what I will give you is your freedom when you offer me the correct behavior. This is realistic training. If you think about it, something like agility, right? It's like a ring, a fenced area like this, right? And the dog performs tricks that they've been conditioned to perform. And the dog has learned if he or she performs these tricks, that they will get a ball. And they've been conditioned over like a couple of years to do it. It can work in that context. But the second you take the agility dog out of the ring and you say, hey, walk next to me. I don't have a ball. I don't have nothing. You just walk next to me. We're going to walk in the city. You're not going to do anything. You're going to sit, you're going to down, you're going to follow next to me. And we're going to do this for 45 minutes. See how reliable that dog is. Even the IGP dog, that young lady that was assuring me online that her positive only trained Rottweiler is going to be reliable in public. It's like, I'm sorry. That dog staring at you for 1 minute in the mall, that's a one-trick pony. It's not going to work in real life. And I know it because dogs can't exist in a state of motivation. You see my dog's focus heeling too. It's a sport behavior. It's very stylistic. It has no actual functional use. Like, I wouldn't train a police service or any kind of service dog to do it just because it's useless. And this is not done with positive only training. This is why you see videos of us with our dogs in public, and our dogs are just by our side following our commands. They're not doing anything crazy. They're not adrenalized. And this is the big difference between sport training and functional obedience training. Our functional obedience system is set up for the real world. Now, what you get sometimes is you get some dogs who are a little bit shy and fearful, and they kind of stay next to their owners for the sake of security. I actually have a Chihuahua like that. I put no training on this dog. My wife can take her anywhere off the leash, and you'd think we trained the dog to do something, but she just does it because she's a little bit insecure. But in that case, that's not positive only training. That's the pressure created by her fear of the world that keeps her close to her security blanket, which is mom. But there's nothing wrong with doing the positive training in the foundation with the puppy. In my opinion, it's still not the most ideal foundation. Just like young dogs, when they're playing with mom or when they're playing with each other, they learn that there is consequences to their behavior that is aversive. I hope this kind of helps you guys, and feel free to like, subscribe, and watch more of our videos.